Love that you mentioned that buying interstate, because that's what I did for my first property. I bought in Tasmania.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pretty courageous, because most people don't have the guts to do that.
Well, the reason why I bought it, and this is why it's important to always have a buyer's agent on your side, because the buyer's agents do a lot of the work for you. I didn't have that, but I had an older brother that was in property.
Right.
And he turns to me and he goes, look at Hobart. It's a regional CBD. And what happens with regional and rural CBDs, as soon as you're out of the regional CBD, 1 metre out, you're now classified as rural.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening is there was a large net migration of Chinese students moving to Tasmania. While they're moving to Tasmania, well, they could complete their rural work for 2 years or a year and a half, whatever the rule is, and get their permanent residency and then move on to citizenship quite quickly. So what we started to see was a housing crisis down in Hobart. And people were going, why is the pricing going up so much? And that's because there were so many students going to this area.
Yeah.
So it's always important, I believe, to go to the experts. They're the ones that are going to help you find these little pockets. Hey, guess what? Perth has just redeveloped these highways. There's 6-lane highways. We're starting to see a net migration of this many people. It's supply and demand. The people want land. That's what they want to come here and buy. They're over COVID. They're over all that. They want something specific to them, and that's where they're going. And that's why I always believe it's always good to have someone like yourself on the side. Another thing is you can actually save clients a lot of money.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed is you guys will find the off-market opportunities. You guys will have, you'll meet the real estate agent before, auction commences or anything like that. Have you seen, any buyer success stories like this recently?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say, why should I use a buyer's agent? Why should I pay you to find me a property? But they've just already also told you how busy they are in their life and their kids and their busy jobs, and they're both working. So you kind of talk about that time and motion studies, talk about how much time it'll take you to buy it. Do you want to visit properties every week, every weekend with your children? If it's in Sydney, if it's outside, how are you going to look at the property? How are you going to know if that property in Brisbane or Perth is a good property? You're going to spend $1,000 to go look at many properties over a period of time. So that's the kind of justification. It's also negotiating. That's a huge element of it. And what's the average? I think it's Australian buy a property every 10 to 12 years. Okay. So in your lifetime, you only buy a few properties. Yeah. So, I say, well, we're buying properties every day. Well, most days. We're negotiating on dozens of properties every day. And, then we go through the contract and settlement stage. So we're doing that every single day. So obviously our experience, understanding the market, off-market or pre-market deals, I like to say. So where we might just get a heads up and, hey, Julian, just listed a property. It'll be online in a week. Do you want to have a look at it? Yeah. So they know we've got an educated client. They've got their finance approved. They know we've gone through the data. They know where we want to buy. We've analysed all those 30 elements and algorithms and all those things to know where we want to buy property, from population growth to the council to what development's happening, what zoning are we able to do, and we look at that and say, yeah, we think that's a good area to buy in.
I absolutely love what you just said. An Australian buys a home every 12 years. If you average that out, let's say an Australian lives, the average lifespan, I think for a male in Australia is 79 years, right? You average that out after the age of 18, of course. So 79 to 18, that's 61. You divide that by 12, so they buy 5 properties in their life.
But even that's a fast, to buy that many at 18, you probably wouldn't be doing that. You wouldn't be right maybe to your late 20s potentially.
That's exactly it. You're doing that, or you're negotiating that for clients in a week. So you're doing 50 times the work of any average Australian in a year, okay, across what they'll do in their lifetime. So I think it's really essential for people to understand buyer's agents are your friends. They're the ones that are actually going to go to bat for you and make sure that you get the property that you deserve. We're going to help with the money. We're going to help. We're going to go to bat for the loan. But it's you guys that really can come in and go, you're paying too much on this property. That real estate agent isn't your friend. Yeah. This real estate agent is my friend. We're going to get you the right price on this one.
I think that's been the mystique of the whole industry, right? Yeah. So we've trusted, and they're great selling agents, as we call them, and we also buy from them. But they get paid by the seller, whereas we only advocate for the buyer. Yeah. Right. We're only in the buyer's camp. And we go head-to-head against that selling agent. So, and we find out so much information about their client, which their client would be horrified if they knew, we know they're getting divorced, we know they'll take any deal, they know they want to make it quick, then painless, and they want a quick settlement. But we get all this information, and we know how then to go in and try to buy that property, try to get there before auction, before it goes to too many open homes. And if we know the price is right, we can get that in the right terms. It's not always about the price. It's about the terms as well. If we got finance ready and we can do that deal, and because they're an investor, it's not about time. The quicker they get rent in, the better. So we can make it a quick and painless transaction.